My boyfriend sent me a Venmo request for $43 after I paid his rent for 6 months. I'd been dating Kevin for about a year, and things started out pretty normal. We both had decent jobs, split dates 50-50, took turns buying groceries when we stayed at each other's places. He worked at a marketing firm, and I was a project manager at a tech company, made about the same money. Everything was balanced and fair. Then Kevin's company did layoffs and he lost his job. I felt terrible for him and immediately offered to help out while he got back on his feet. That first month, I covered his part of dinners and told him not to worry about paying me back. He was stressed about interviews, and I wanted to be supportive. Month 2 came around, and his landlord was threatening eviction. Kevin called me crying, saying he'd be homeless. I paid his $2,200 rent without hesitation. Told him to focus on the job search. He seemed grateful, brought me flowers from the grocery store, made me dinner at his place with groceries I'd bought. Month 3, same thing. He had some interviews, but nothing solid yet. I paid his rent again plus his car payment because he said he needed it to get to interviews. He'd cook for me sometimes and tell me how lucky he was to have me. I believed him. Month 4, he got a job offer but said it didn't start for another month. Asked if I could cover him one more time. I did, plus his phone bill, car insurance, and gave him money for interview clothes. He promised he'd pay me back once he started working. Month 5, he'd started the new job but said the first paycheck wouldn't come for 3 weeks. I paid everything again. He was less grateful this time, just expected it. Stopped cooking for me. Said he was too tired from the new job. Month 6 was when things got interesting. He got his first full paycheck. I saw the deposit notification on his phone when he was showing me something else. $4,800, more than he made at his old job. I figured he'd immediately offer to start paying me back, or at least cover his own rent now. Nope, he asked me to cover one more month so he could build up his savings. Said it would be irresponsible not to have an emergency fund. I was annoyed but paid it, thinking this was definitely the last time. 2 weeks later, we went to dinner to celebrate his cousin's birthday. Nice steakhouse, about 12 people. When the check came, everyone was splitting it. Kevin's portion was $87. He looked at me and said loud enough for everyone to hear that I'd get this one since he got the last one. He hadn't paid for anything in 6 months. I paid to avoid embarrassment. The next morning, Kevin texted me a Venmo request for $43.50. Said I'd ordered the more expensive wine so I should pay him back for my half of dinner. The dinner I'd entirely paid for, after I'd paid his rent for 6 months. I stared at that Venmo request for 20 minutes. Then I noticed something funny. Kevin had changed his Venmo to public recently. I could see all his transactions. He'd been sending money to someone named Brittany with flirty emojis for weeks, drinks, dinners, even a hotel room. While I was paying his rent, he was dating someone else. But I also noticed something else. His car wasn't actually in his name. It was still under financing from the dealership, and the account holder was his ex-girlfriend from 2 years ago. She'd co-signed and he'd just kept paying, except I'd been the one paying recently. I called his ex Rachel, told her Kevin and I had broken up, and I wanted to make sure she knew I wouldn't be making any more car payments. She was confused because Kevin had told her he paid off the car months ago. I explained the situation. She was furious. Turns out she'd been getting notices about late payments affecting her credit before I started paying. She'd been asking Kevin about it, and he kept saying it was handled. She thanked me and said she'd take care of it. Then I got petty. I accepted his Venmo request, but for 1 cent. In the notes, I wrote, "Here's your half of dinner. We're now even for the $13,800 I spent on your rent and bills." Made sure it was public. All his friends could see it. His cousin who was at the dinner commented, "What?" immediately. Then I texted Kevin saying I needed to talk. He came over all angry about the Venmo thing. I told him we were done and I wanted him to start paying me back. He laughed and said gifts didn't need to be repaid. That's when Rachel's revenge kicked in. Full story on channel, link below.